Good evening to all the Ambazonians on ground zero. Good evening to all the freedom fighters on ground zero. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all the rest of the world. It depends where you fall. All the Ambazonians all over the world. Good evening. All the members of the Amnesty International, good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, it depends where you are. To all, the parliamentarians of the British parliamentarians, and the snake members of the United States of America, who are doing a good job to see that Cameroonian does not cause genocide. Good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning. To all those, members of the United Nations organizations who are found in Australia, that is the Australian members of the United Nations, who are putting more interest to see that genocide is not caused in Cameroon. Good evening, and thank you very much. Okay, I will start. First of all, I have some, some little 3 or 4 points to discuss on, to bring out the proof that I, Mr. Ayamba Lawrence, Prince Ayamba Lawrence, known as Mr. Hopes, who is always out to give hopes to the Ambazonians, hopes to the interim government, hopes to the self-defense groups on ground zero, hopes to the refugees in Nigeria, hopes to all the Ambazonians all over the world, Belgium, Holland, Britain, France, Italy, Spain, Australia, Hungary, Russia, China, Dubai, South Africa, Norway, Sweden, Kenya, Tanzania, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Argentina, Cuba, Mexico, Jamaica, Chile, all over the world, in short, all over the world. Albania, all over the world. I want to throw you people salute and beg you people to focus on the issue which is taking place in Cameroon. That is the war which is going on, because Cameroon, the Republic of Cameroon, is causing genocide in Cameroon. I'm begging people to focus and also try to say something about the genocide. Try to force, United Nations to take immediate actions for that genocide. But for the topic for today is the game is in our favor. TCHIROMA is angry with the international pressure on La Republic's government. The people of La Republic are divisible. No to the government of La Republic to visit our refugees in Nigeria. But this topic I keep it aside. I will start, in another angle. Then I'll come back to this topic. I will start with a quotation, or a saying, or just some phrases in the Bible. When the sentence of a crime is not quickly carried out, the hearts of the people are filled with schemes to do wrong. Although a wicked man commits 100 crimes and still lives a long time, I know that it will go better with God-fearing men who are reverent before God. Yet because the wicked do not fear God, it will not go well with them, and their days will not straighten like their days will not lengthen like a shadow. I repeat, when the sentence for a crime is not quickly carried out, the hearts of the people are filled with schemes to do wrong. Although a wicked man commits 100 crimes and still lives a long time, I know that it will go better with God-fearing men who are reverent before God. Yet, because the wicked do not fear God, it will not go well with them, and their days will not lengthen like a shadow. Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11 to 13 in the Holy Bible. Another quotation. This is another quotation. Man is held up in misery until someone comes and give him a life for his future. Man is held up in misery until someone comes and give him a life for his future. We will realize that the Ambazonians were held up in misery for 57 years. Someone came and gave us life to struggle for our future. Listen to his speech on the 30th of September 2017 on the declaration of the independence of the state of Southern Cameroons, or the state of Ambazonia. But before I come to that, let me continue. And it should be noted that the Lord Jesus Christ died to save mankind. The Lord Jesus Christ died to save mankind. President Sisiko Ayok Julius is lamenting in the sales of La République to save the Ambazonian people. He, Sisiko Ayok Julius, said in his speech that he is foreseeing a possible genocide on the Ambazonians by La République du Cameroon, and that the international bodies and the UN should put a focused eye on the Ambazonia cause. So now, before I will come back to the points that I have to really discuss, let's just go to his speech for members' purposes. Let's come back to his speech and hear all what he said in the speech on the declaration day of our independence. And that is exactly what is happening now, all what he said. But before the speech, we will listen to the national anthem, as our culture always permits, which is one of the strongest thing we have in our revolution, our national anthem, and also our flag. Those are the two things that are giving us hopes. And hopes is the sole thing for this revolution. And that is why everybody is still contributing for my trip to BIYA, contributing for self-defense, contributing to the refugees, because we have hopes. If we don't have hopes, the struggle will not, proceed in the way it's proceeding. So now let's listen to the national anthem and the speech of the person who was sent by God to come and free us from this slavery. Excuse me, let me put it on. Excuse me, let me start it from the beginning, please. It's not good to start national anthem in the middle, please. Please, I'm begging you, let me start it from the beginning. As the national anthem is going on, I will be just, meditating on the points I've said. I have to rest up because you also listen to the Ambazonians, the loyalty. This is our freedom, allegiance to the hero, all the blood in their blood, glory to glory, will rise and never to fall. Yeah, in our nation, we blow the morning, glory, glory, glory to the Father for making you a nation and joy forevermore. Ambazonians, freedom, we be plenty meetings of our and your children shall be stars above. The Most High God is the watchman of his nation. Ambazonians, freedom, you shall live with plenty meeting of our and your children shall be stars above. The Most High God is the watchman of his nation. Okay, now you're listening to the speech on the Declaration of the Independence, the day before the Declaration of Independence by His Excellency Sisiko, so that we can see the speech and know what is happening now, how the speech march hand in hand.
Today,
what's happening.
We celebrate our history as a proud people of the British Southern Cameroons, or Southern Cameroons,
Let me
or
increase the
better
volume a
still,
bit.
the Central Republic of Ambazonia. We, the people of the Southern Cameroons, we move today to reaffirm our inalienable, natural, and legal rights to self-determination. I stand here today to tell you that we are once again a free people. Exactly 56 years ago, our forefathers, in whose hands the leadership of our beloved country of the British Southern Cameroons was assigned, our leaders in good faith united our people with those they saw as brothers and sisters from the Republic of Cameroon. That union was always intended to be a union of two equals. Unfortunately, what our peace-loving people have experienced ever since is oppression, its subterfuge, its discrimination, its violence, its intimidation, its imprisonment, its forced occupation, its cultural genocide, and misappropriation of our natural resources by the leaders of the Republic of Cameroon. Our people have endured this inhuman treatment for close to 16 years. It is without doubt a reflection of how the government of the Republic of Cameroon sees our people as no better than slaves. To the government of Mr. Paul Biya, the people of Southern Cameroon are a colonized people, and they have treated us accordingly. By an ugly manipulative scheme in 1972, the leaders of the Republic of Cameroon gave ruin to the federal system, which was the foundation on which the so-called union was based. In 1984, the people of Southern Cameroon, they witnessed the President of the Republic of Cameroon, they witnessed Mr. Paul Biya decree the complete annexation of our territory. And in one stroke, the United in the country's name was erased. That United was the last element of that so-called union between our great nation and the Republic of Cameroon. By this deliberate act, Mr. Biya completed the subterfuge of our nation. Mr. Biya's message was very clear and it was simple. By that act, he declared that the union with the people of British Southern Cameroon had expired and that the annexation of our territory was cemented. Today, we stand as a proud people to send a very loud message to the government of the Republic of Cameroon and to the international community that a new dawn has arrived for Southern Cameroon. We, the people of Southern Cameroon, are slaves no more. Not now, not ever again. Today, we reaffirm autonomy over our heritage and over our territory. Our people have sent a clear message to Yaoundé and to the government of the Republic of Cameroon that now is the time to correct the errors of our forefathers. Anyone who had eyes saw. Anyone who had ears heard. They heard what happened on Friday the 22nd of September 2017. They heard that when our people, they came together in marches across the nation and across the world, they came together in their millions to assert their nation's truth. Let this day be a reminder to anyone who doubted the resolve of the courageous people of Southern Cameroon that our mission is clear, our determination is firm. The people of Southern Cameroon will never again be treated with disdain. To the brave and courageous people of Southern Cameroon, let me use this opportunity to thank you. Thank you for your immeasurable sacrifice, for your determination and your willingness to be your brothers and your sisters' keeper. Your sacrifice for your great nation of Southern Cameroon is enormous and your pain is deep. Our hearts are heavy when we witness our brothers, our sisters, our mothers, our fathers, even our children murdered in cold blood by the colonial forces, the forces that unleash hate on our people, the forces that are unleashed by Mr. Paul Biya. Our hearts go out to all the families that have been torn apart by the repressive government and the actions of the Republic of Cameroon. We, the people of Southern Cameroon, we shall never forget you.
We shall never forget you.
Our resolve to part ways with the Republic of Cameroon is very firm, as we hope to chart our own way of conducting business. We are determined to walk away from the repressive system inherited by our neighbors on the east, where soldiers shoot an elderly grandmother at point blank on the orders of their superiors simply because she dared to exercise her right to freedom of expression. What kind of a country do we live in where the very soldiers that are supposed to protect the citizens, these soldiers become the criminals who abduct, who rape, who maim and kill our children, sometimes even in their sleep. The people of Southern Cameroon have turned their backs to that way of life. That is not our way. That has never been our way. It is not our heritage.
Thank you.
The youth of
President.
the Southern Cameroon have stood tall, very tall,
Thank you very much,
to
President.
tell the colonial regime of Mr. Favour that they are leaders of today. The mothers and the fathers of Southern Cameroon have demonstrated by their actions that they want the very best for their children. There can be no doubt that the future of all Southern Cameroonians, the future shall only be secured in a free Southern Cameroon. Let the people of Southern Cameroon know that the world is aware of our plight. The world is aware of our pain and our suffering. Let our people know that the international community has recognized our determination to free ourselves from occupation. We cannot forget 16-year-old Cyprian citizen who was ferociously shot dead on the 4th of September 2017. He was shot by forces of the Republic of Cameroon. How can we forget the image of the lifeless body of our brother Atanga, who was shot and killed for protesting peacefully by Colonial Mayor Ekema of Buea? And Ekema continues to collude with and benefit from his masters in Yaoundé. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, our fight is just and the timing is right. The United Nations, by Resolution 1514 of the United Nations General Assembly on the 14th of December 1960, proscribed colonialism in all its facets as a crime against humanity and a threat to world peace and security. Therefore, at this time in 2017, we will not sit and watch the colonial regime of Mr. Favour continue to inflict pain and suffering on our people. We have witnessed how the forces of the colonial regime, how they kill, how they brutalize, how they torture, how they abduct, and they rape our people on an almost daily basis. A countless number of our people have simply disappeared. Hundreds are in the stinking and overcrowded dungeons in far-flung corners of the Republic of Cameroon. It is time to tell Yaoundé that enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
My dear people of Southern Cameroon, our peaceful and non-violent struggle has intensified. Our struggle must continue until every single Southern Cameroonian in the inhumane jails of the occupier is free. Mancho BBC, Penterens, Pachingang, and all our people languishing in the colonial prisons of Mr. Favour, they have a right to liberty. We, the people of Southern Cameroon, we demand justice for the people of Southern Cameroon, and that justice cannot be denied. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, our struggle has reached and always has been a non-violent and a peaceful one. In the days ahead, we must refrain, we must remain focused, we must refrain from any acts of vandalism. We must remain focused on the core principles, regardless of whatever provocation from the death squads of Mr. Favour. We have also made some significant diplomatic strides in the last couple of weeks in our struggle because of our peaceful and our non-violent approach. Therefore, every dedicated and honest Southern Cameroonian must avoid any confrontation with the colonial administration. Avoid confrontation with their police, with their gendarmes, and their armed soldiers. Avoid that confrontation today and in the days ahead. However, Our people must rise up as one to kick out any colonial administrator or anyone else who conspires with the colonial oppressor to cause disorder in our communities. Henceforth, all instructions from the colonial administrators must be boycotted. Tomorrow, the people of Southern Cameroon will celebrate their independence. Our people should march. They should march jubilantly to the palaces of the thrones and the chiefs. We shall hoist our Southern Cameroon flag together with that of the United Nations at our palaces. We shall do this in the most peaceful manner possible, marching in groups where possible. We shall be led by the Takumbans and other women, followed by our boys and men at the rear. In the diaspora, on the 2nd of October 2017, our people shall rise. They shall march to targeted United Nations and Commonwealth offices to deposit copies of our declaration. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, in the coming days, you should select good and faithful leaders within your communities as we go forward with our restoration plan. We shall rely on these leaders and the governing council for direction. These community leaders that you select, they shall manage the affairs of our councils as part of our restoration drive. Therefore, we shall restore power to the Council of Chiefs until further notice. In this process, we shall be open and shall accept any of our elected officials, such as members of parliament, the MPs, the senators, and the mayors as leaders, if and only if they have withdrawn from the colonial regime and have pledged to faithfully serve the people of Southern Cameroon. The rebuilding process of Southern Cameroon starts now. That rebuilding starts with you, it starts with me. It starts with all of us within our communities. You must start community projects and strive for self-sustainability. We all must use the first Wednesday of every month from now to clean and to rebuild our communities together. Our people should start mobilizing emergency funds through individual and group contributions in order to create community coffers, those coffers that the community can turn to in times of need. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, in the days ahead, some of our towns, our major junctions, and our streets shall be named in honor of the heroes in the restoration struggle, especially the fallen heroes. Therefore, the Department of Home Affairs shall research and record all the details of our heroes and all those who have sacrificed for this struggle until date. We shall honor them. In the meantime, by the powers vested in me, I move to rename the city of Libre as Victoria. This is in keeping with her name prior to the colonization in 1984. The commercial avenue in Bamenda shall henceforth be named Chief Ayamba Avenue, while the Mile 17 to Boyatown Avenue shall be named after our late comrade Albert Mukom. The Bamenda Airport shall be named after Dr. Martin Geka Luma. This renaming exercise will be intensified in the weeks to come. To our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, your relentless effort, your sacrifices, and your unwavering support of the home front has been undoubtedly, unmeasurably enormous. This has pushed forward the movement to greater heights. In the days ahead, our people back home shall need you more than ever before. Our restoration struggle has benefited tremendously from your financial support, and more shall be demanded of you going forward. But our movement shall also continue to rely on your capacity to organize and seek the recognition of the Republic of Southern Cameroons and other forms of cooperation in your countries of residence. In the days ahead, the people of Southern Cameroons, they shall welcome all valiant Southern Cameroonians serving in the military and the police force and the gendarmerie force of the Republic of Cameroon. We shall welcome them to return home to commence the training of our community vanguards. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, we must build our country on the values that will attract other well-meaning nations to work with us and to respect us as a people. Therefore, we shall begin this duty by teaching our children our rich history and the history of our restoration struggle. By taking this step, we shall ensure that the errors of the past 56 years shall never again be repeated. In the coming days, the Southern Cameroon's Education Board shall present the framework for a new world-class education system, an education system that should serve the needs of our children. This new system shall build on the positive values of the existing system and much more. Our education system shall train future scientists, future leaders, entrepreneurs, job creators, innovators, and others who shall be better prepared to solve our problems as we develop and grow the Southern Cameroonian economy. The Governing Council and our leaders are already developing plans to create 13 state universities. 13 state universities across Southern Cameroon.
All the 18
To
countries.
the government of the Republic of Cameroon, to the government of Mr. Paul Biya. The people of Southern Cameroon want to tell you that we are not at war with you. It is deeply regrettable that you have continued to invade Southern Cameroon with your brutal, with your trigger-happy forces who abuse, who intimidate, who arrest, who torture and kill our peace-loving mothers, our fathers, and even children as young as 16. The people of Southern Cameroon strongly condemn the militarization of our nation. We demand that you immediately withdraw all your forces from our land, and you do so and unconditionally release all Southern Cameroonians in your jails. Furthermore, some of your ministers and leaders, such as Mr. TCHIROMA, they have been calling our people terrorists and dogs. Some have taken public steps to radicalize your citizens against our people. We strongly urge you to stop preparing the grounds for a possible genocide against our people. The eyes and the ears of the international community are on you, Mr. Paul Biya. The future of relations between our country and yours is at stake here. To the international community, we wish to thank you for your continuous support to our people who are now littered in your various countries. Thank you for your hospitality. We would like to appeal to your endless generosity in hosting and supporting our people until that day, until that moment, when we have regained our statehood and enabled our people to come back home, come back to their home and serve their motherland. We wish to inform the international community to have a close watch over our territory as we suspect that Mr. Paul Biya plans to unleash his brutal forces on our people, on our armless people.
Genocide.
The United Nations Secretary General sent a forewarning to Mr. Biya days ago. But
He said
knowing
it.
Mr. BIYA and
He
his
said
regime,
it. That genocide.
we would not be surprised that we end up with additional casualties to those inflicted over the past days, over the past weeks, and over the past months. While we may want to reclaim our nation, while we reclaim our state, we continue to be inclusive even of our brothers on the eastern side of the Nile. The Southern Cameroon Ambazonian Governing Council has committed to protect foreign interests in our country. We consider avenues which there might be to continuity with our business friends. The country we seek to build is one based on mutual benefit for our people as well as for our friends. Therefore, ours will be an open door business policy. My dear people of Southern Cameroon, we know that the international community is deeply, deeply concerned about the security of our people as we celebrate our freedom. Ours is a peaceful, non-violent celebration. We, the people of Southern Cameroon, we hereby move. We move to reaffirm our inalienable, natural, and legal rights, our autonomy. We move to reaffirm, and we are assembled here today with one accord. We hereby resolve to dissolve all previous bonds with the Republic of Cameroon, and we solemnly declare the restoration of the independence and the sovereign state of Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. Happy, free, and prosperous Southern Cameroons. I hereby declare open the commemoration of our independence restoration. God bless Southern Cameroons. God bless Amazonia.
Okay, all Ambazonians. I decided to put this speech because it's the most important speech which we have in this struggle. And this speech has made us to go as far as we have gone in this struggle. And this speech is the speech that push everybody, everybody to go out and fight for his or her own rights. It has pushed every Ambazonian, to see that he will no more become a slave to the Republic of Cameroon. This speech even gave grounds to the chiefs and the elites, so that they can come and let's come together and build a good state, the state of Amazonia. But these chiefs, they are failing us, and these elites, they are failing us. They are failing us. Most of them are still, working hand in hand with the government of the brutal government of the Republic of Cameroon, to kill, cause massacre, to our citizens. They are even the people are doing the most evil in this generation, because they are the people supporting the government, the occupational government of La République, to massacre our citizens. This speech is one of the most important speech. And he was making this speech, he did not even know that he himself will found himself in the cell of La République by some, criminals, Satan, black-legged people who are calling him best friends, like Atam Milan, Nalova, Binalova, Mangang, Milton, and the rest, to name them. He did not know that they are going to sell him. Look how powerful a guy is. A guy who is really out for freedom, to help. He's the savior, the people who brought us to life, that we have to fight for our liberty. People have to sell him because of money. They make him and his government were all caught in Nara Hotel in Nigeria. God should not forgive these black-legged people. God should punish them. If not, the Ambazonian on ground zero should do what they can do to them. God should do it in our place. Okay. I really wanted that this speech, people should come out to this speech and listen, because this speech, it gives us hopes. This is the speech that gave us hopes and that pushed us, to really stand firm in our struggle for the liberty, for the freedom of our country, the state of Amazonia, which we are now in the struggle. And in the speech, he even, foresaw that this will lead to a genocide. And that is what is happening. That is what is happening. This is one of the most powerful speech. The speech among all the speeches in the world. The speech that President Sisiko Julius Ayok-Tabe, now we don't know whether it's still in Yaoundé or it's still in Nigeria, or we are not just sure where it is, because since they were adopted and extradited, as we heard, we have not seen picture, we have not seen any proof. But well, let's just hope that God is keeping them safe where they are till when they will be out. Because if they're not out, we should always pray that they should be out. Because if they're not out, we are not going to have our independence. The more they remain there, the more our independence will be, dangling. So we should pray that the international body should put more and more pressure so that they can be out. All those who are arrested can be out, so that we should facilitate our independence. Because if we don't pray wholeheartedly, God will not pour blessings and push all those who have to come and meditate for their release, so that we can have a negotiation for the terms of independence. If they are there, we will never have independence. Except they are out, that is when we have independence. So I'm begging everybody, when you go to church, you pray. I'm even encouraging all the Ambazonians that should go to church and look for, get cross from the Reverend Father and always put it on. If you don't want to put on your cross on your neck, put it in your pocket. Because this is the thing that will give you enemy and force any person that comes beside you. Tell the Reverend Father to bless the cross. Like this is my own here. This is my own cross here. It's always beside me. Even you are a freedom fighter, let's say the self-defense forces, look for a cross and add to what you have traditionally. It will give you extra powers. Look for a cross and it should be blessed, and you hang it either the neck or inside your pocket. All Ambazonians should have it, because this revelation is, a God-ordained revelation. So we must indeed have crosses with us. Move everywhere with it. Those who don't, in their own faith, they don't have cross, they should tell them that, their own head of their own, if it is church or mosque, to give them what they will hold as a holy something, to be moving with it, because now is the most dangerous period, and it's only God that can save us from this danger which is now coming up. Okay, let me now start again. Start with the, with what I really had for you people. This was just some sort of, reminder of where we are going and where we started. It's also part of hopes. If you listen to it, it will give you again more hopes, and see that we are in what he said in his speech. We are following the procedures of what he said in his speech. That is why we are progressing. We have gone so far. I know when he comes out, he will even be happy, even though many people have lost their life. But we know we must have this independence. But if we don't have the independence, these people's lives who have sacrificed their lives, it will be for nothing. So we must fight just for independence, not for nothing. We don't fight for any other thing, only independence. Nothing like federation. Nothing like federation. Okay, let me continue with some points to bring you people, show you people that there is hopes. We are moving, that the game is in our sight. Now, The world is aware of the genocide and the killing in Menka between the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of April of May, excuse me, between the 23rd, 24th, and 25th of May. The burning of over 76 villages in the state of Amazonia. Additionally, Teke village in Kumba and Kuke village was burned to ashes last week. The problem of the refugee caused by the occupying forces of La Republique du Cameroon under the dictator of Paul Biya. The Ambazonian citizens are now in the forest who escaped from the genocide. The whole world, including the international, bodies, are condemning the genocide and putting pressure to the government of La Republique to call for negotiations. Since the government of La Republique is refusing to call for genuine dialogue, of which we call it negotiation in terms of independence, the Amnesty International condemns the government of La Republique and their occupational armies for crimes against humanity. It condemns the government of La Republique and the occupational army for crime against humanity. Let me show you the video. Although I know most of you have seen the video, but let me try again if I can show you the video. Let me see if I can show you the video. So that you can listen to the video, Hear the report by the Amnesty International.
Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much once again for joining us in this edition of the Primetime Newscast on Equinox Television. We begin right away with the report by Amnesty International that has prompted the reaction of Cameroon's Defense Ministry. Amnesty International has said that because the government of Cameroon is refusing to dialogue with the opposing camp as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned, several persons have continued to die, others being tortured, properties destroyed in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon, and several others being displaced. The human rights group Amnesty International equally accused the Cameroonian government and the separatist fighters for the escalation of violence in the two Anglophone regions of the country. Innocent as it tells us more in this report. Never again.
Uncountable calls from human rights groups and international organizations for the Anglophone crisis, which erupted in November 2016, to be resolved via inclusive dialogue, have proven barren. We are in 2018 and the socio-political impasse has taken the path of thorns, further complicating the crisis with dialogue now seen by parties as a far-fetched dream. Both sides have rather chosen war, which has resulted to bloodbath on both government and separatist camps in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. A couple of officials abducted this year are still missing. Fuming at the prevailing violence and human rights abuses, Amnesty International on Tuesday accused pro-independence fighters for stabbing to death and shooting of military personnel, burning down of schools and attacking teachers. The organization also accused Cameroon security forces of torturing Anglophone Cameroonians, firing of bullets on crowds, burning down of houses in villages in Anglophone Cameroon, in a spiral of violence that keeps getting more and more deadly. These revelations are contained in a new report on Cameroon's Anglophone crisis titled A Turn for the Wars, Violence and Human Rights Violations in Anglophone Cameroon. Amnesty International said the report is based on in-depth interviews with over 150 victims and eyewitnesses as well as material evidence. According to the human rights group, English speakers are in the grip of a deadly cycle of violence as security forces, it added, have indiscriminately killed, tortured and arrested people during military operations, which have also displaced thousands of Anglophone Cameroonians to bushes and neighboring country Nigeria, as well as in their own country, Cameroon. To Amnesty International's Deputy Director for West and Central Africa, violence by the military helps to fuel the unrest than quenching it. Amnesty International publishes this new report after the U.S. ambassador to Cameroon in late May denounced targeted assassinations by government forces and killings of gendarmes by secessionist fighters. This came after the European Union in February called on the army of Cameroon to proportionate use of force. Unfortunately, the continuous massacre of persons like that in Menka, Sanda subdivision of the Northwest region recently proves government authorities in the nation's political capital Yaoundé have denied to adhere to non-killing for the violence to boil down.
And it should be noted that the Defense Ministry, through the head of the Communication Department of the Ministry of Defense in Cameroon, Colonel Bajek, has reacted following the outing yesterday of Amnesty International, qualifying the report by Amnesty International as that which is diabolizing the defense corps in the country. He said that it is simply baseless and does not reflect the defense corps in Cameroon, especially given the fact that they are simply reacting to wave of violence and attacks perpetrated on them in the northwest and southwest regions of the country. Before we come back to the devastating consequences of the Anglophone crisis on examination centers, especially as far as the CP as well as first school living certificate examinations are concerned, we take you to the Mongo division to talk about more than 170 students that have so far been dismissed from some schools in that part of the country. The students were dismissed for recalcitrant behavior, juvenile delinquents, and poor academic performance.
Okay, we have heard how the Amnesty International condemns all the acts of genocide being caused by the Republic, the killing in Mecca. Even though he also said that the Ambazonian, self-defense forces are causing, arresting and doing one or two things. But that was minor, it's for self-defense. It should be noted that since the war was declared by the dictator Paul Biya, La République delegates, or La République deputies and senators have refused to carry out any debate on the Ambazonian issue, and could not even look for any solution. Now the American Senate and the British parliamentarian decided to take up, the lead. And Human Rights Amnesty International and the Freedom House had to attack Biya's government. Furthermore, the Nelson Mandela Center International Court submit compromising evidence to the ICG. At this remark were confirmed. At these remarks were confirmed on May 29, 2018, a press conference by the Minister of Communication, ISSA BAKARY, warning Cameroonians that it should be waiting to see other sins horrible like those of Maker. TCHIROMA is confused. He does not even care whether the world is listening to him. He just say everything that he just want to say because he's confused, and he knows very well that there is no more, no more hopes. Everything is just gone like that, because now their only hopes is that they will get them up and they will be judged in the hay. So he says anything without thinking. He's confused. Because how can a minister stand and say there will be more of this type of sin? There will be more massacre. That in the days to come, there will be more than the very type of thing that happened in Mecca. They will carry out more in different places. So it's not that the world is watching. That is why the Mandela Center International Court have to react to this. Mandela's center condemned the government action in the genocide on the Ambazonians and forwarded a report to the United Nations and the Security Council. Not so long, TCHIROMA, BAKARY, Favour, Atanganji, the generals, the commandants in the army, the SDO, the DO, the governors in the state of Amazonia, Okalabilai, some chiefs and elites who are causing and encouraging genocide will all be arrested and taken to the court in The Hague, in Holland. Thanks to the prophet. Thanks to the prophets who are condemning the Republic government and those army and those armed forces for the genocide. I will try and show you, one of a very strong prophet who condemned and told those who are causing genocide and the armies that their days are numbered. That their days are numbered. Let me try if I can show you the video. Listen to the prophet. Very strong prophet.
Every of those people who go about in the name of whatever to waste innocent lives, and anybody in power who is behind them, who is behind them. We decree to you all, your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. If Pharaoh survived, you can survive. If Nebuchadnezzar survived, you all can survive. But if they did not survive, we declare your obituary now. And we pray for the communities to be empowered. Because nobody has monopoly of violence. We decree that the communities be empowered. The local vigilante in the law, self-defense is legalized. Self-defense is legalized. We thank God for whatever the authorities have done to defend the people. But if the people cannot be defended totally, they are empowered to defend themselves. You don't watch and see some demons come and waste the whole land, overrun the whole community. Elders are going, children are being killed, women are being killed, and young men are just walking about. No!
No! We don't accept this. Cannot happen.
The Bible says from the days of John the Baptist till now, the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. Christianity would not have existed till now. If not that in ancient times, some people rose and said enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Are you hearing what I'm saying there today? Animals in the name of human beings. Animals, demons, supported by fellow demons. In the name of having money or having power or having authority, it is over. It is over. Hear me. Every of those people who go about in the name of whatever to waste innocent lives, and anybody in power who is behind them,
the Dios. Attaquant du juillet. Attaquant du juillet. Capitaine du juillet. Tu ne pas tes juillet. Every person. Those allies. You go juillet. Those kids. Juillet. He's a prophet. A prophet saying it. He's a prophet.
If Pharaoh survived, you can survive. If Nebuchadnezzar survived, you all can survive. But if they did not survive, we declare your obituary now. And we pray for the communities to be empowered, because nobody has monopoly of violence. We decree that the communities be empowered. The local vigilante in the law, self-defense is legalized. Self-defense is legalized. We thank God for whatever the authorities have done to defend the people. But if the people cannot be defended totally, they are empowered to defend themselves.
Thank you, my prophet. God bless you. God bless you, my prophet.
You don't watch and see some demons come and waste the whole land, overrun the whole community. Elders are going, children are being killed, women are being killed, and young men are just walking about. No!
No, this is not acceptable. No. No!
No! No! No! The Bible says from the
Baptist. Till now, the kingdom suffer violence, and the violent take it by force. Christianity would not have existed till now, if not that in ancient times, some people rose and said enough is enough. Are you hearing what I'm saying here today? Animals in the name of human beings. Animals, demons, supported by fellow demons, in the name of having money or having power or having authority. It is over.
It is over. Thank you. Thank you, Prophet. You've told them everything. All those people supporting the Republic, they must go. It is over. They will all be arrested and be killed and be locked. You know, they will be arrested and taken to the Hague in Holland, the court in the Hague. If not so, even, you know, as self-defense forces have the right to arrest them. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Prophet. Thank you. This is hopes you are giving the Ambazonians. We thank you very much. God will bless you, Mr. Prophet. If all the other prophets can follow suit, our independence will have a shorter time. A shorter time will be in Boya. Okay, before I forget, let me put the video to show you the declaration made by the Mandela Center, International Court. Okay.
Breaking news. Menka massacres. Mandela Center submits compromising evidence to the ICJ. That these remarks were confirmed on May 29, 2018, at a press conference, by the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, ISSA BAKARY, warning the Cameroonians that it should be waiting to see other scenes. Horrible like those of Menka. That no information has filtered about the circumstances of the horrors committed, while the bodies found in groves and houses were without any weapons, just as no wounded was registered in the ranks of the army, and the alleged seized weapons by the Cameroonian army have never been unveiled. Below, the entire communique of the Cameroonian NGO reached our editorial staff. She called for the establishment of an international commission of inquiry to investigate the Menka massacres that occurred on May 25. Images of corpses lying in pools of blood, bodies riddled with bullets, men hanging from the ceiling like animals in a butchery, remains piled in the bush, have traveled around the world as a result of carnage operated by the Cameroonian army, in the middle of the night from 24 to May 25, 2018, at Mankapignan village, Commune de Santa, Department of Mazam, in northwest Cameroon. That the gruesome record of this massive and barbarous massacre reports at least 32 deaths among young people who were in a small motel called Star Hotel. That the only survivor, wounded in the mouth and taken to a nearby health center by his two brothers on a motorcycle, was immediately overtaken by the army, who removed them from the hospital bed before to cut them coldly, to erase all traces. That in an outing on social networks, Colonel Didier Batjek, head of the Communication Division at the Ministry of Defense and spokesman of the Cameroonian Army, has fully assumed the responsibility of the Cameroonian government. Forces of defense and security have thus progressed early in the morning of this day as to surround the hotel. At the end of the fighting for the benefit of the regular forces, several terrorists were neutralized, and the wounded were immediately taken care of. That these remarks were confirmed on May 29, 2018, at a press conference, by the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, TCHIROMA BAKARY, warning the Cameroonians that it should be waiting to see other scenes, horrible like those of Menka. That no information has filtered about the circumstances of the horrors committed, while the bodies found in groves and houses were without any weapons, just as no wounded was registered in the ranks of the army, and the alleged weapons seized by the Cameroonian army have never been unveiled. That several contradictory versions pollute the atmosphere on this dramatic event and aggravate the fracture between the Cameroonians. That the main leader of the Cameroonian opposition, N.I. John Frundi, speaks of summary executions attributed to the Cameroonian army by saying, "If I was young, I would have been in the bush fighting with others," and that Paul BIYA must be prosecuted for crimes against humanity, on France 24, demonstrates the depth of trauma and suffering in English-speaking areas. That nothing in international law justifies the conduct of the Cameroonian public authorities, their armies, and their representatives in this dirty war, that the Cameroonian army had in front of civilians, secessionists, terrorists, or bandits. That since the outbreak of the Anglophone crisis in October 2016, no national inquiry has been completed and no elements of the Cameroonian Defense and Security Forces have been prosecuted despite the multiple recorded war crimes. That only an international commission of inquiry will be able to clarify the circumstances and establish the responsibilities in a very short time. That these are serious violations of human rights within the meaning of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, of 1948, the International Covenant on Civil Rights and Policies, ICPIR, of 1966, the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, ICPIR, of 1981, the Convention of the United Nations Against Torture and Other Cruel, Inhuman, or Degrading Treatment or Punishment, CCT, of December 10, 1984, all ratified by Cameroon. That according to the international law of the rights of man, the state of Cameroon has the obligation to respect and enforce the right to life, UDHR, ICPIR, that in the light of its international commitments, the Cameroonian government has an absolute obligation to prevent the extrajudicial execution of civilians, including suspected criminals, whether by the police or other security forces, to appeal to its security forces to ensure that the population living in the English-speaking areas is not murdered by non-state agents such as armed gangs, to open an investigation into those responsible for unlawful killings and to bring them to justice, that these facts constitute the war crimes and crimes against humanity recorded in the Geneva Convention, the founding act of the International Criminal Court. Articles 7 and 8. Judges of the International Criminal Court, that the Cameroonian state has an absolute obligation to comply scrupulously with international humanitarian law, IHL, or the law of war, a legal framework common to the 04 Geneva Conventions of 1949 and the 2 additional protocols from 1977, that Cameroon has indeed ratified the Convention on the non-applicability of statutory limits to crimes of war and crimes against humanity, that the Republic of Cameroon is, indeed, party to the ICPIR, to the 4 Geneva Conventions of 1949 and to the 2nd additional protocol to these conventions relating to the protection of the victims of non-international armed conflicts, additional protocol 2, and to respond all the human rights violations attributed to it, that all Cameroonian soldiers must be instructed solely to obey the prescriptions of international humanitarian law and human rights and to disobey mandatory orders, under pain of prosecution. That all the Cameroonian military leaders involved in these abuses must answer in the light of several jurisprudence which makes criminally responsible for crimes committed by subordinates placed under its effective authority and control, when it has not exercised the control which was appropriate for such subordinates in cases where the superior knew that these subordinates were committing or were about to commit those crimes or deliberately neglected to take into account information that clearly indicated it. 2. These crimes were related to activities within his effective responsibility and control, and 3. The superior did not take all necessary and reasonable measures within his power to prevent or punish their execution, or to refer to the competent authorities for investigation and prosecution, reinforced by Article 28 of the International Criminal Court on the responsibility of military and other leaders. In view of all the foregoing, Mandela Center International, 1. Regrets sincerely that the Cameroonian government has failed in its international commitments to expedite an urgent and effective investigation into all allegations of human rights abuses with regard to its security forces. 2. Exercises, with firmness, the Cameroonian state compensation and compensation fairly and adequately for all the victims. 3. Calls for an urgent appeal to the Security Council, the General Assembly and the Human Rights Council to set up an independent international commission of inquiry to respond to serious violations of international humanitarian law and human rights.
That's good.
Human rights law and put an end to impunity in Cameroon. Done at Yaoundé, on June 11, 2018. The Permanent Executive Secretary. Breaking news. Menka massacres, Mandela Center submits compromising evidence to the ICJ. That these remarks were confirmed on May 29, 2008.
Okay, that was the declaration. That is the court. The court who is now taking, has to take those concerned. They will be punished. Yes, those concerned in the Mecca and all the genocide caused in Cameroon by the Republic. Obia will be punished. Tanganji will be punished. Sheruma will be punished. All those governors, Okalabilai will be punished. All those who are concerned, the generals, you know, the generals, all those, they will be punished. They will be punished. They will be punished. This is totally clear. They will be punished. They are all Satan. They will be punished. They will be punished. I'm very, very sure. This is what the center, Mandela Center, is already saying it. That they're already taking them, you know, judging them already in their attention. They're judging them. So that after this, they have to come and pick all of them. They'll just take all of them and go to the court in the Hague. Okay, let me continue. The game is in our favor. You have seen how all the world pressure is mounting now. Mounting on the dictatorial regime of the dictator Paul Biya, the dictator Paul Biya, everything bam is going on in all the international bodies, the prophets, every person. So this is hopes again for the Ambazonians. We are already winning. They are confused. Every money they don't have, nothing they don't have. They don't have support from international bodies. You know, Britain now is against them. Everybody is against them. Even France is against them. That is why Radio Venkat came right up to the war zone to take, you know, get information so that I can also spread it to the world. And the boys told them everything. So people should not be afraid that they came there because the boys had confidence to themselves. That's why they accepted them to come. Even though so they will shoot all of them. But they had confidence, and we are respecting people. We don't have anything to do with foreigners, you know, with strangers. Foreigners, we don't have anything bad to do with them. So people should not be afraid. That area that those boys were, you know, before the France 24 came, that area is an area that was being occupied by the forces of the Republic. But these boys came there, the self-defense forces, you know, they came there and drove away the army and owned that place. So it is not that the army knows the place, but they cannot come there. They can never come to that place. Even if they bring out the warplane, they cannot come there because that place is bendy with everything. The boys are there with their arms, they are there with their bolo. If you come there, the bolo will take you away. So nobody should be afraid. Yeah, I'm happy even the world is knowing at large, even up to the French radio station is announcing it. It's a serious progress to us. We are winning, and that is the hopes. Mr. Hopes is telling people the truth. Right at the beginning of this show, I said I have hopes, and we will have hopes. Hope. Everybody must have hopes until we reach Boya. We concentrate on hopes, because if not hopes, we cannot even fight the war. Okay, let me continue. All the pressures has made the dictator Paul Biya to be confused. He was even advised by the American ambassador to the Republic to think of his retirement, and also having think of his prestige when he will not be there in power, and he compared him to people like Nelson Mandela and the rest. He probably did not even argue anything because it was just an advice. But some foolish advisor to the government, you know, some foolish ministers misunderstood the ambassador and insulted him and even threatened to take off his life if he comes back to Cameroon. If he comes back to the Republic of Cameroon, the Americas as a whole was also insulted. As a foolish country, the Republic does not have no respect. They started insulting a country, in short, that has been giving them monies, giving them war ammunition. They come and kill us with it. They give them planes, war planes, to go and fight Boko Haram. They take it and come and fight us. Then when they give a simple advice to the president, the whole people just start attacking the American government. This is funny. This the Republic have no respect for, no dignity for human people. That is why they are killing people without even thinking. The whole America, and even went as far as promising to kill him if he comes back to the Republic. I hope the President of the United States, for one, Mr. Donald Trump, should take this serious, because an attack on the ambassador of the US is an attack on the President of the US, and also the attack to all the Americans. So the Americans should take this seriously and try to cut down all the aids that we give them. If possible, they should withdraw all the ammunition that give them, all the technical support for the war and everything, because they are using it to cause genocide in our land, in the Ambazonia. TCHIROMA is more confused than even Paul Biya, who already knows his next home will be the prison at The Hague. It's insulting the international bodies and Amnesty International. In this confused atmosphere, the government of the Republic, also being short of finances, who have declared war on the Ambazonians and burned nearly all the villages and sent the Ambazonian citizens as refugees to Nigeria, and planning to cross to Nigeria to help the refugees. Going to Nigeria to see the refugees and give them help is against international law for the protection of refugees. This government is a very wicked government. It will come and poison the refugees. Please, no refugee should accept anything or food given or take any medications, that is medicines, given by the government of the Republic. Nobody should convince you people to come back. They are still burning the villages. Last week, Teke village in Kumba was burned down, and young girls of CPC, Bali, were forced to roll themselves into mud. And you people are saying you are going to Nigeria to give aid. This is my first time of seeing a country which have caused war and sent everybody out on exile and burn out all their villages, and after coming back, they want to go and give aid to a different country where the refugees are. This is my first time. They are going for a different plan. Please, you people should take care. They are going there for a different plan, not aid. They are not going to give aid to the refugees. They are going there for a different plan. They want to go and eliminate these people, either put poison or do one or two things, either to inject them vaccination that they will not put to bed. So please, this you should take this one very important. Please, 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 the refugees and those in the hidings in the forest, do not take any instructions from the government of President Obia, the dictator. Take an example of what has happened in Mecca and ISSA, TCHIROMA, BAKARY is still informing people that this action will still, more of this type of action will still happen. So people should take care. Even those on ground zero, people should take care. You know, I'm begging people, take care. Don't go closer to these people from the Republic. If your neighbor is a guy or somebody from the Republic, give him a distance. We are informing the government of Nigeria to prevent the refugees from being killed, to stop the government of the Republic from coming to Nigeria, because you should be reminded that they came last time and made funny games with people in Nigeria and extradite, and kidnap our leaders, and they will extradite the Cameroon. And now they say they are coming for the refugees. Please, this is not acceptable. Nigerian government, if you don't want that anything to come back again to you as protest and everything, you should not accept the Cameroon government to come to Nigeria. We are informing the government of Nigeria to prevent the refugees from being killed, to stop the government of the Republic from coming to Nigeria. If anything happens with the Ambazonian refugees, you will be held responsible. We are informing you. We are informing you that you should take care. We are also calling on the world to intervene and stop the government of the Republic from visiting the refugees in Nigeria. This is not possible, and it is not acceptable that the very government who declared war on the state of Amazonia, paid all the villages and send their citizens on exile to Nigeria or in the forest, and killed close to 41 youths in Mecca, and is causing genocide in the whole of Amazonia, and is causing genocide in the whole of Ambazland, and is now planning more similar acts as that in Mecca, and will say it's going to give aid to the refugees in Nigeria. We say no, 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 no to the government of Favour, the dictator, the killer. We say no, we don't want you to come there. And if you are coming there and you want to pass through the indigenes or the elites or any people or the chiefs of Ambazland, to send them to come there, know that they will come, they will not return. And if they come, the houses will be burned behind. All the houses will be burned. That is just the information for now. They will go, they will not reach there. They will even have problems on the way. So you people should take note. If problem is following people to go and look for your own death, take care. Because you will go, you will not come back. And if before coming back, even if you are fortunate to come back, your house will be burned. So we advise you not to go and see our refugees. We are taking care of our refugees. The international government is taking care of the refugees. The High Commissioner for Human Rights for refugees is taking care for refugees in Nigeria. The IG is taking care for refugees. We are thinking, we don't want you people. You people send them there. You cause war. You want to kill them. Don't go. We are begging you. Because if you go, we can change the system of war at any time we like. We have the power and all things, everything that can change the war. So people should take care. Like Republic Cameroon. We don't want to attack you full scale. From Yawende to Kutaba, from everywhere. So we are just begging you people to stay. If you want to raise money, because you lack money, tell them people to raise money and give you, you take it and keep it and eat it and know what to do with it. If you want to take it to find water, don't go with you. Don't want your money or don't want your aid. to our refugees. He said, if you go there, you are going with the bad aids. You are not going to give them the real aids that people will think in their head. Okay. Please, the High Commissioners for Refugee and also the human rights organizations should stop the government of the dictator, President Paul Biya, who had nothing to lose since he knows he has lost his popularity and he wants to visit the refugees so that he can play a game and people will say that it's now good, this and that. They have been doing this for campaign for the elections. We don't want him. Please try to stop him. We don't want him to go and visit our refugees. Hence, the government of the dictator Paul Biya will carry the genocide to the refugees. Because now he is planning to carry the genocide across the borders to the refugees. So share this message as fast as possible. That we say no to President Paul Biya, no to the elites, no to the governor of Southwest and Northwest, no to the chiefs who are all supporting the genocide. We say that no, they should not go to Nigeria. If they go to Nigeria, we'll make sure they don't come back. And their houses, as they go in front, their houses have been burned behind. God bless the refugees. God bless freedom fighters on ground zero. Those in their hidings in the forest. We are on the good foot to total independence. All about the Ambazonians on ground zero should stay focused. Be your neighbor, watchman. Thanks. God bless all the Ambazonians all over the world. Unity, unity. We have already achieved unity on ground zero on a very powerful note. And now, unity is almost been achieved in the diaspora. So now the struggle is already moving towards BIYA. So Mr. Hope is congratulating all the forces on ground zero, all the mothers and fathers, all the students who are respecting the orders from the IG. May God bless all of you people. I end for today.